All right, everybody. I am here today with my good friend, Cathy Payton. Hi, Cathy.
Hi, Laura.
And we are going to talk about how things are different now. And for everybody that's watching, you might want to chime in and agree or disagree that you're noticing that things are definitely different now with your health and exercise program, with the way that you look, with the way that you feel. Even though I hate to say it's because of our age, it is because of our age, right? And the fact is, we are all blessed enough to be aging. And Cathy, I'm so proud to be aging along with you. I've known you for 20 years when we were both, oh my goodness, so
Spring
much
chickens.
spring chickens. And it's been so fun to be in this process with you as we move through the years and through different phases of the age strong process. Just kind of seeing how it all unfolds and seeing how things are definitely different now, specifically with our programs. So you have been exercising for a long, long time and you've been super athletic and super active. So share with everybody what kind of stuff you used to do, or all the stuff that you used to do back in the day.
Back in the day, I was a really good soccer player. That was my high school thing. And also very good at anything agility, winter sports and stuff like that. That was my go-to, and it was my strong point in gym class. I'm also old enough to say that when I was in high school, the girls did not get to play intervarsity sports until my senior year. So I have that little negative thing, but yeah, I've always enjoyed sports. I've always, back in the day, cross country skiing until my boots actually evaporated one time and I haven't replaced them. And I've done other things. Walking has always been a big thing for me. You get up in the morning and you go for a couple of miles walk.
Yeah.
I did a Nordic track for a long, long time. I would do things, I would go on my kids' field trips when they had like outdoor adventure, and I would do all the things that the kids were doing. So, the coach thought I was it. But yeah, and then things slowed down.
Yes, exactly. It kind of, life slows down, your metabolism slows down, the aging process kind of speeds up. So you started to kind of hit the wall, not necessarily with your activity level, but hitting that wall in how you looked and how you felt, right?
Mhm.
What are some other things that happened when you hit that wall, and when was that in the whole
Okay.
scheme of things?
In the whole scheme of things, it's really, I've been kind of in a very, very slow downward spiral, probably for 20 years. It's really kind of started when we moved back to New York State. We've been in North Carolina, where, you have all year long ability to get outside and do things. And when we moved back to New York State, I call this, I remember I call it the pre-New York State weight. That's the weight that I'm trying to get back to, my pre-New York State weight. um, you know, the 6 to 7 months of winter, I just found really difficult to get out and do the things that I wanted to. I remember the very first year that we moved back, it was March 30th, and I was out on the road walking, and the snowbanks were 6 feet high still on March 30th. And I thought, what have we done?
What have
What
I
have we
done?
done?
Yeah.
So I really slowed down my exercise program. I wasn't getting out enough. I kept, I think I kept my exercise program going on a consistently a daily basis for years and years and years and years and years. But there was also a lot of stress happening when we first moved back that lasted literally for 10 years. And stress just knocks the snot right out of you. I mean, it really, really affected how well I was not losing weight, what I was holding on to. There was a lot of negativity and frustration and depression. And so that makes you not want to get up and exercise. So I was slowing down as the years went by. And then all of a sudden, I'm 65 years old. I'm older than that now.
Yeah.
But once I hit 65, it's like oh my God, my body just changed overnight. It was
Mm,
like the next day I started seeing it's just completely
yeah.
distributed. The weight is completely distributed in a different way that was
Well,
not
yeah.
appealing at all.
And I think you're so I think it's so great that you pointed out that while this aging was happening and while this slowdown of activity was happening because of the weather, stress was happening. So as
Mhm,
much as we like to blame it all on age, or as much as we like to say, oh, let me just exercise more, I think the monkey on our back for a lot of us is that threesome, right? The aging and the slowdown of activity and the stress, and trying to chase the one in the middle, the exercise, isn't always effective anymore until we can manage the stress. And what you have
mhm,
learned is
mhm.
that sometimes all the exercise that we're doing is actually contributing more to that stress.
Yeah, I was doing the wrong stuff.
Yeah. So when you finally decided, well, I mean, not finally decided, but when you kind of had that, okay, now enough is enough, I'm going to go for it, I'm going to push through that wall. What are some of the things that you started to do to lose the weight?
Okay, so that gets to us to a very recent part. But I want to back up a little bit because one of the things that you forgot about that was when menopause hits,
Right.
because because I had heard over and over again from different people who were trying to help me, well, if you're going to get this weight off, you got to do it before menopause because after menopause, it's practically impossible. So you have that thought in your mind that this is going to be impossible. And that just becomes a recurring idea for you. I'm not going to be able to do this because I'm past menopause.
Right.
And then you throw in a thyroid fun issue along with that, and then you start making excuses for yourself.
Yes.
And it's like this isn't going to work anyway.
Yeah.
Um, so last summer, I think is when I first contacted you to say I need help.
Mhm.
And even though you were helping me, I really had not gotten the mindset
Yeah.
to get really serious about this.
Yeah.
I was going to play acting along. Yeah, I'm doing this. Yeah, I'm doing it. But
Well, I think the thing that you did, Kathy, that was so typical is that you hired a coach or a personal trainer to push you harder, to give
mhm,
you a bigger workout. What are the exercises? How many days a week? How many minutes? How hard can I work? I think that was that's most people's impression of what a personal trainer does for them. And so
mhm,
you were like, okay, I'm rolling up my sleeves, I'm going to do it. And you did it, and you did it, and you were banging it, and you were doing 20 times more than I wanted you to do of
mhm.
X, Y, and Z. But
Sure.
really, where I wanted you to work was over here on 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So sorry, little misunderstanding there. Yeah.
Because of your athleticism and because activity is so natural for you and it's fun for you, and exercise has always given you such great reward and such great
Mhm,
benefit. I think we just all believe, okay, exercise worked before, exercise is going to work now, and if it
mhm,
doesn't work, I'll do more, harder, harder, harder. Yeah.
mhm,
And it's
mhm,
different now. It's different now
mhm,
because of menopause and because of
mhm.
age and because of stress. Yeah. And all of the accumulation of all of that too. It's not just it wasn't like one day of menopause or one day of stress. It's a long accumulation now.
Yeah.
So
Right. Right. So the turning point
yeah.
came maybe early January. No, I guess maybe late December, early January, somewhere around there, where I just realized, you know what, I'm not winning at this,
Yeah.
and I don't want to keep losing
Yeah.
because I want to look good. I want to be strong.
Yeah.
I want to have a crazy, awesome out wardrobe, and I can't do any of those things right now because I'm
Yeah.
shaped like a cereal box. So,
Yeah.
so I got to the point where it said, I need to hire Laura to be I need a support system.
Yeah.
So I talked to you, I talked to my naturopath, I talked to somebody else who does blood testing and things like that, because I wanted to put all my ducks in a row
Yeah.
and make sure everything was in its right place to go forward. And I want to get back to the place where I'm again as healthy as I can be. And the other thing I think about that is, I see so many people, and myself included, who would say, well, I'm getting older now, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. And I'm not going to have the tone that I had one time. I'm not going to be a size 2 or a size 4. But I think because of what I realize is it's kind of exciting to think about. You got to look yourself in the mirror and realize, you know what, I need to be an athlete for the rest of my life. I think we get kind of lazy about that and say, well, we can sit back and relax now, but there's nothing good that happens when we make that decision.
Exactly. So, well, and I love that you mentioned the athleticism again, because athletes aren't great athletes because they exercise all the time. They're doing so many other things, and we laugh a lot about Tom Brady, and the fact that Tom Brady is a great athlete, not because he goes out and throws the football as hard as he can every day. It's because he's doing a wide variety of other things. He's doing the 1, 2, and 3, not just always the X, Y, and Z. And I also love that you brought up the point, Cathy. It's different now. We have to have a team of a naturopath and somebody that's looking at our blood work, and maybe a coach and a personal trainer. It's different now. The tools that we use are much different now than when we were in our 30s, 40s, and maybe even 50s, where it was like, okay, my tools are walking and soccer and weights. Like that was all well and good when hormones were different and stress levels were different and our age was different, but now it's different. We need a whole different set of tools. I love that.
Yeah.
So what are your 1, 2, and 3? Like, what are some things where you didn't even realize before how important it was to focus to get the results that you want with your weight loss?
Yeah. Well, having you do that pyramid thing with the corrective down here and the performance up here, and where the hit is and where the strength is and stuff like that. I mean, I was all over the place with my exercise. I even said to you, okay, so now I'm going to do my 10,000 steps, but I'm going to be holding 10-pound weights at the same time. And you're going, no.
Go.
Stop mixing things up.
You were still mixing things up. It was very aggressive randomness. It was just a lot of everything. And I like to use the skincare analogy. So you were putting like lipstick on your nose and sunscreen on your lips, and there was all kinds of skincare happening, but none of it was really in the right place. And so now we're putting the chapstick on the lips and the sunscreen on the nose. We're doing the 1, 2, and 3 a little differently. So specifically, what are some of the things that you are doing differently?
Well, it's incredibly a relief for me that I'm really spending only 20 minutes a day doing the main portion of my exercise program, which is such a change from, I got to get in the car, I got to drive to the gym, I got to work out for 2 hours, then I got to get back in the car, and then I got to drive. I mean, it's such a time saver for one thing. And I also like that, the guilt is gone from that, because I don't have to work out 2 hours a day. And because I'm seeing results from that very focused 20-minute strength program, or my very focused HIIT program, or getting up every half an hour to do steps around my house, so that by the end of the day, I'm at 10,000 steps. And man, I can book it around my house. I can make some progress.
We should say it's the beginning of February in upstate New York. Otherwise, you'd be outside getting these steps. I don't want people to think, well, why doesn't she just go outside?
Because it's 25 below. That's why.
It's unsafe to be outside. So poor Cathy's been getting her 10,000 steps a day in her house.
And I also stopped using my treadmill and did the steps around the house, because I could feel on my treadmill, it was a stressed out walk. Plus I was trying to and while I'm doing this, I'm going to watch this presentation, or I'm going to, study this. And so it wasn't an enjoyable time of being in shape, where I'm using completely different muscle groups
Yeah.
walking around the house than I was on that treadmill. So that poor treadmill is only 3 years
Treadmill
old.
stresses people out. The treadmill
Yeah.
for a lot of us stresses us out. And when we're stressed, it releases the cortisol and makes us hold on to fat, which is the exact opposite of what we're trying to do. And when
Yeah.
you take the steps around the house, you're moving a little bit more naturally, and you might find that you have to pick something up off the floor and put it away or do a load of laundry. So we end up moving a little bit more than we would on the treadmill. I love that.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you're going around the corners, like you got to go around this table. So I say, I'm working my hips right now. I'm working my core.
I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but it's different now. It's not just about intensity and calorie burning. It's about, like you said, targeted, deliberate movement in
Mhm.
20 minutes a day, but then also this 10,000 steps a day,
Right.
which has been kind of something new and a little bit of a challenge, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, in the olden days, 10,000 steps was nothing.
Yeah.
But in here in northern New York, I wasn't getting it except in the summertime.
Right, right.
Um,
So
yeah.
what about food and diet? Because I know people are so confused about all the information out there about
Mhm.
the best diet for weight loss. So what are some of your AV or one, two, threes about your diet?
Yeah. Um, well, I'm okay as I'm on this weight loss thing. I'm okay with about 1,000 calories, and I'm very, very short. I'm very vertically
Very
challenged. But
tiny.
um, before I would do a 1,000 calorie or an 800 calorie day or week or a couple of weeks, and it would still like not come off. And then you jump that to 1,200 calories where you're eating like a normal person, and like, but there's those pounds, they just came right back.
Yeah.
So, now I'm doing pretty much 1,000 calories. I'm really focusing on a lot of vegetables
Yeah.
because I think my blood type and my body type just really, really likes vegetables. It really, really likes good quality soy.
Yeah.
So I'm being pretty, I don't know. I've kind of got this pattern that's working for me right now where I'm doing my soy protein in the morning. I'm doing this enormous salad with black beans and one of those cute little cuties
That's
at
right.
lunch. And, like maybe vegetable broth in the afternoon or an apple. And then my husband, who's a great cook, by the way, he's preparing dinners with, there's that fifth serving of vegetable and like a really good baked chicken or something. And I'm satisfied, and food tastes really, really good when you're not stuffing your face all day long.
Well, and
Yeah.
when you're 1,000 calories or 1,500 calories or whatever that number is for people, when you are being super deliberate about every single calorie, bringing high nutrition,
Mhm.
powerful nutrition, whether it be 1,000 calories of high nutrients or minerals or fiber, or we've talked about adding more carbs to your diet and not being so tired all the time, really being super deliberate with how we choose our calories. It's different now because when we
Mhm.
were in our 30s, we could just go on a 1,500 calorie diet. It could be 1,500 calories of Pop Tarts and gummy bears, and we would
Mhm.
lose weight. Or for you, maybe 1,000 calories of Pop Tarts and gummy bears. But now it's different. Though
Mhm.
our body expects a little more, our body needs a little bit more power when it comes
Mhm.
to our food choices. So I think what you are finding, because I look at your weigh-in log every day, is that you're keeping your weight down now because we're replacing calories with uh, intention.
Mhm.
The foods that you're eating are super intentional now, and we're going to stay there and keep our exercise at a reasonable targeted
Mhm.
amount while we keep climbing up back to a good calorie range and just watching what your weight does, which is probably a little bit more math than people are interested in. But the point is, it's different now. You can't just exercise more and eat less because your body's like, oh no, I'm going to need some real specific hormonally driven exercise and some real specific power driven foods. It's a little different now, and it's not to say that it's upsetting or it's a defeat or it's miserable. It's just different. And it
Yeah.
takes some time and it takes a mindset shift, like you said, to jump on that train. So
Yeah, and I think another thing that I've had to accept is that the weight that I am right now, I've been at this weight before and my body looked completely different. So I have to, so I have to give myself the grace to, it's okay.
that's right.
Things are going to get better. You're
That's
getting stronger. You're getting firmer. You know, you're going this way, and it's not going to be instantaneous. You
exactly.
really got to work at this.
Exactly. And you know what? Neither of us might ever, maybe we will never look like we're 30 years old again. And you know what? I think that's okay. And I think you look fantastic. You look healthy. You look strong. You look vibrant. There's no downside to getting stronger and eating the right way. And if we, we want to look as good as we can possibly, but if we never look like we're 30 again, that is okay, because we want to feel better, perform better, and live a little better. So you are doing everything right now, and I'm so happy to be on this age strong journey with you. So proud of you. Anything
Thanks,
else that
boss.
you think that the people watching would want to know? Any words of wisdom that you want to share?
Yeah, no, just enjoy it and be excited about it. And
Love it.
we have the opportunity to be athletes for the rest of our lives, and I think that that's what the Lord expected when He created us anyway. I
Yeah.
think that we get into our own heads, or sometimes we listen to the wrong voices who say, "Hey, you're at that age now where no, and it doesn't need to be that way." So just make the decision to do it and have fun with it.
I love
I'm
that.
enjoying it. I really am. I'm enjoying it.
Good, good, good. It's fun to have you along. And one last question, Cathy. One of the questions I like to always finish with is, what are your favorite taco toppings?
Yeah, okay, so let's see, I think we're pretty traditional.
Okay.
I mean, we do the ground turkey. We don't do beef anymore. We do ground turkey and we do salsa, although I am not a hot salsa person. I'm mild, so it's real wimp
I
when it
wouldn't
comes
have
to
had that.
that.
That would be spicy. I'm surprised by that.
No, no, no. Some sour cream,
Love it.
lettuce, the stronger cheese, the better.
Good.
That I have to have a really good sharp cheese. And if we happen to have guacamole, that's awesome. But we don't usually have guacamole around. So,
That's pretty exotic for Northern New York.
oh, well,
All right. Well, thank you so much for spending time with me today, Cathy. I think you're on a great journey and I appreciate you sharing your story with everybody. And thanks everybody for watching. Let us know if you have any questions at all. We'll see you next time.